Tarot time. Jupiter goes direct this weekend, so let's have some cards. A card for every sign, actually. I'm going to pull 12 cards as we go along. We're going to start off with the fire signs. And if we get wand cards coming up in this one, we'll know it's very close to home. But it's going to be close to home anyway, because that's how this works. So what is the top card we've got? Okay, first card out, Queen of Swords. Oh, now this is serious. Now, as Jupiter goes direct, if you're any of the fire signs, the next three cards are for you. That is to say Leo, Sagittarius and Aries. Now that fiery energy really is quite strongly summed up by the Queen of Swords here, because she's quite a fiery character. She does not suffer fools gladly. Okay, now this is all about evaluating your plans and making sure that you're actually serious about what you want to do and that you've actually got a good plan for what you want to do. The most intense time for this is going to be this weekend, but it applies as you go forward too. Okay, so you could say that's for Leo, but really the next three cards are for all of the fire signs. Okay, so that's the Queen of Swords there. Get it serious, get your ducks in a row, and be willing and be serious about trying to get it right as much as you can in terms of your approach to life, because your plans going forward from here really need to be steady. Jupiter is a lovely happy planet, actually, ruled by the angel Jophiel, and so it really is actually a positive thing that Jupiter goes direct again. But nevertheless, don't let that positivity throw you off course. Okay, fire signs. Next card then, number 9, and it's the Hermit from the Major Arcana, so very close to the heart and very close to the truth. Now then, we see some of the seriousness of the Queen of Swords in this, actually, because she's all about making decisions and making wise, sensible choices backed up by reality. This one is a bit more out there, okay? The story in this card, it's the Tarot in Wonderland deck, and we've got Alice standing in the background here, waving goodbye to this heroic knight figure who's riding away on his white horse. She will see him again, but the whole story of Alice in Wonderland is that she kind of is growing into maturity. So as your plans grow into maturity, you may feel like you're a bit out there on your own, okay? But it is very positive energy coming from Jupiter, no two ways about it, okay? And you will actually be linked up with your support network again, so that is good news. Third card for the fire signs then. Let's see what we've got here. And turning over one, we've got the High Priestess. Now this is actually very positive news. This says that things are going better than you might expect, and that's certainly going to happen if you take notice of the Queen of Swords there and really make sure your plans kind of add up and mean something and have a real strong chance of success. The spirit realms will always help you, the angels will always help you, but we used to have a saying, actually, in a group I was in, that sort of Jesus loves you, but don't forget to lock your bicycle up. So in other words, you know, you've got to kind of do everything you can to make things go smoothly. And basically where you want to go, you're actually going to be allowed to go. This card says that you've done the work and that you're actually allowed in there. So a nice positive ending there to the fire signs 3. Let's move on and do the water signs now. And this is Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. 3 cards for you guys. And it's take your pick. You could pick a card as you if you want out of these. If you're going to do that, decide 1, 2 or 3 now. Okay, so let's turn one over. And it is the Empress, number 3 in the Major Arcana. So we got very kind of close to the heart, close to the personal truth of what is seriously going on close to you guys in the water signs. So here we have Alice helping. She's the Empress, but she's a very queenly kind of figure. You know, this crown is really emphasizing the fact that this is a very senior kind of person. But she can't do much without a little girl to brush her hair for her. You know, this is that side of all of us which kind of sometimes goes into things unprepared. But the help is there. And in this deck, Alice usually represents the querent, the person who's having the reading. So Alice is you, really, giving some help to someone in authority to actually, maybe to gain favour if you need to. And the moon is actually going to be entering Leo this weekend, and that's when it's good to get your plans out there, and there's a strong possibility of finding people to help you with your plans. So you scratch her back and she'll scratch yours. That's the way it is with the Empress. Okay, another card for the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. Card number 2. Turning it over is the Seven of Swords. Now, there's a trickster indicated here, actually. Now, is he a nasty trickster or is he doing something to help? It's very, very difficult to tell with tricksters. Sometimes they're just having a joke. Sometimes they are actually up to no good, and that's a fact, to do be aware of that. But in this card, the story is that this character here has pinched some of the swords. He's stolen them, and he could keep them for himself, I guess, and he could be being a bit sly, a bit stealthy, but the chances are he's going to actually go back into this situation and show the people, hey, there's a gap in your security. So be aware of that. Have you got things done up as tightly as you want them done up? It's well worth thinking about when this card comes up, because there's something you don't know. There's something you don't quite know the shot here, and it's always good to know the shot before you open your mouth, particularly actually with the moon coming into Leo. That is one of the main characteristic influences of what's going on this weekend. Okay, so let's have a third card for the water signs, and this is 3 of Wands for Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. Now, this actually shows that it's the other side to the Seven of Swords giving you a warning. This actually says that the hard work has been done and that your ship is coming in. Now, what is coming in on your ship depends on the effort you've put into it. But it is a wand card, and we can see the kind of ribbon things tied to the top of the wands here, blowing in the air. So there is actually progress going on as we look at this, but the work is really done. The Hare character here is wondering what's going to come in when his ships come in. And he doesn't really know for sure, but he has put the work in, and the story of this card is that things work out. Okay, so that's the water signs. Let's move on and do 3 cards for the air signs now. This is going to be Gemini, Libra and Aquarius, and the moon does pass from Gemini into Leo this weekend, so we're seeing much less of the Gemini influence, but we're still seeing that kind of, what am I saying? It passes from Cancer into Leo this weekend. It's passing from Gemini into Cancer today, on the day I'm doing this, which is Friday. But there we go. All in all, although we go through the sign of Cancer in between, the move from Gemini into Leo through Cancer actually goes from one string of positives to another. So there's just a bit of a glitch indicated there. Okay, let's turn over a card and see where we are going. Number 7, the Chariot. The major arcana keeps coming up, so there are big things happening this weekend, I've no doubt, as Jupiter goes direct. Now, the Chariot says there's a journey going on, and nearly every tarot deck has a very different looking Chariot card to this one. Alice doesn't look as if she's going anywhere, but she actually will. It's just that her progress is hindered and held up because she's trying to play a game of what looks like croquet to me, and she's got to play it with a flamingo, and there's not much you can do with flamingos. They're kind of out there, they're kind of crazy. It's a pink bird, so love is indicated there. Is love getting in the way? Is love jumbling your plans up and preventing you from getting on with the journey? Well, never try and ditch love and do without it, whatever you do, for goodness sake, because we all need love. But do be aware of that. Is something holding you up on your journey? If it is, you will actually be able to move forward. There is a very positive side to that card, and that is what that was all about. So card number 2 for the air signs, Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. Turning it over, it's the 9 of Swords. Okay, now this is something else that could be holding your journey up. And if it is, it's kind of a false thing that doesn't need to hold your journey up, but it looks worse than it is. We can see the Hare waking up in bed here, and there are chess pieces and a chessboard all over the bed, showing that there's a game going on, game on. Something is actually happening. But the swords are hanging over his head, and there are too many swords for him to deal with all at once. When this card comes up, you need to take your problems one at a time, even though there might be a lot of other problems complicating things. If you take the first sword down and actually deal with it, then there's only going to be 8 swords left to deal with. And then you take another one down and there's only 7. At every step, it gets less complicated. I've done this in my own life. It's kind of seemingly impossible, but it really does work out. So, one step at a time. And you will be that way much more in tune with your journey and much better able to make progress. Okay, card number 3 for the air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and it's the Page of Cups. Now, she has a beautiful energy, the Page of Cups. If we look close up, the fish has got a scroll in its mouth. So, this is about a journey again. Something's happening. Something is kind of on the move. We might not know what it is yet, but that is no problem. Now, if the last 2 cards have made you wonder, what kind of journey am I on? Where am I actually going? This is the one to really think about, because Alice has a really kind of open, childlike energy in all the cards in this deck, and she's willing to kind of dive in with both feet into whatever situation comes up, because she's cheerful. And what she can do, she might not know it in these words because she's a child, but what she can do is she can visualize the best coming out of a situation. She can believe the best, and that is what's going to actually make that journey really enjoyable for her, even though she doesn't know where it's going. So just be ready to make a journey, okay? That's the bottom line of all those 3 cards when we look at it, and do solve those problems one at a time, actually, okay? Because even when you've just solved one, the first one, you get a wonderful feeling of, I can do this, I can move forward, I can make things happen. So that leaves us with the earth signs, and that is going to be Taurus, it's going to be Virgo, and it's going to be Capricorn. We will do 3 cards for them. If you want to pick a card, pick 1, 2 or 3 right now, or see it as a reading, or see it as going sign by sign. First card we've got for you guys, 4 of Swords. Now we've got swords hanging over someone's head yet again. Excuse me, yet again. And the energy really can feel like that when we have the Cancer moon, actually, because we start seeing little kind of tensions and incompatibilities between people, maybe flaring up a little bit, but it's all kind of coming from a place of compassion and wanting things to flow smoothly and go smoothly. Now then, the character here, who's a very kingly figure, needs to have a rest. There's no getting away from it. And even though the 3 swords are hanging above his head, they're safely tied up in the tree, and there is a sword on the ground here beside him, so he's ready to defend himself if he suddenly has to wake up. This card is all about kind of let the universe handle it, okay? God has your back, the universe has your back, your own higher self has your back, if that's the way you want to see it. But the bottom line is, things aren't as kind of dangerous as they seem, and if you need to take a rest, do take a rest, because there is no point, and really there's nothing worse than getting all burned out if you can possibly help it. Okay, card number 1 there. Let's have card number 2 for the earth signs and see what we turn up. Okay, and the top card now, King of Pentacles. Now, the King of Pentacles really knows how to have a good time. He's got the feast spread out there in front of him, and he's got room for some guests as well. So there's more on the table than you might think, and don't be afraid to kind of ask people for what you want. That's the bottom line here. Now, this is waking up from the dream very much, obviously, because we've got a clear blue sky. But it's also about kind of using your own, your special abilities, your guile, you might even say. Be a bit crafty if you have to, because the King of Pentacles is the Mad Hatter in this deck, and he's a hat salesman. He's wearing the hat, it's keeping his head warm, making him look rather grand, but it's got a price tag on it as well, and that's because he's using that kind of practical everyday thing of having a hat. He's using it to sell a hat. He can easily make another one. So there are resources. Don't hoard the resources. Get out there, kind of use the resources as you go forward, because resources are a kind of a conveyor belt. As you use them up, more come in. If you stop using them, the energy gets stuck. The energy doesn't flow. So take that rest by all means, but get out there and kind of be willing to kind of share a bit as you go, but also just make use of those resources, even if it's just for having a good time. You should never underrate the value of having a good time. Goodness knows there's plenty of bad time experiences floating around in this world, so get out there and enjoy it. So then, final card, the 3rd card for the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. Turning it over, we've got the 2 of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles is relevant here because Pentacles is the suit of the earth sign. So we've had the King of Pentacles, and we've got the Two of Pentacles here now. He's doing a balancing act. He's trying to juggle these things, these pentacles that look a bit like clocks and watches to me. So time is going to be really, either it's going to be at stake in some way. Either things are going to happen jumbled up, not in the right order you expect, or there are going to be massive demands on your time. But the bottom line, if you look at this, he's not actually going to drop those. He's got his hands in the right position. And even though he's dancing around a bit to keep his balance, he is actually going to be able to do what he's trying to do to get the things done that he needs to get done. And he is going to successfully juggle those things. Now, we can juggle too much in life, there's no doubt about it. But sometimes we're forced into that position where we have to juggle lots of different priorities. We have commitments to other people, that kind of thing. If you're overcommitted, do stop and think, okay? Earth signs, that's really, really important. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, those are the 3 cards for you. Well, I'm going to end it there, so I've got a fighting chance of getting this video uploaded sometime this year, because uploads are going very slowly at the moment. YouTube is going very slowly for me as well, so if you wouldn't mind a thumbs up, do subscribe to the channel please if you haven't already. That makes such a difference, and it helps real channels like this actually get somewhere amidst all the crazy advertising and all the kind of clickbait and stuff. So like, subscribe, leave me a comment please as well, guys. We'll share the journey. I love kind of talking to you guys in the comments, and being a small channel, we do actually get time to chat, which is fantastic. Links to my Instagram and my Facebook and my email me if you like, are down below there, so check those out. Readings available, small charge involved I'm afraid, because that's how I make my living. But if you'd like a reading, if you'd like a birth chart, a horoscope for a special day, a compatibility chart for a relationship, anything like that, give me a shout and I'll be very happy to look into them for you. Meanwhile, have a fantastic time ahead. I will be back soon. I never give up. Sometimes I just can't get uploads going. I'll be back again soon. So take care of yourselves. Love and light to you, and peace.